Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm John Smalley, a librarian with the Humanities Center here at the main library of the San Francisco Public Library. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge our community and tell you about a few upcoming programs this month. On behalf of the Public Library, we wish to welcome you to the unceded ancestral homelands of the Ramaytush Ohlone, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. As the indigenous stewards of this land, and in accordance with their traditions, the Ramaytush have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as caretakers of this place. As guests, we who reside in their traditional territory recognize that we benefit from living and working on their homeland. We wish to pay our respects by acknowledging the ancestors, relatives, and Ramaytush community, and by affirming their sovereign rights as First Peoples. I suspect most of you are lovers of poetry, so I'm hoping you can come return here this Thursday, 6 p.m. in this room. Our monthly Poem Jam poetry reading will feature the works of Pat Parker. This is to celebrate a new book, Essential Poems of Pat Parker, and the poetry reading will be facilitated by San Francisco Poet Laureate Emerita Kim Shuck. And next Sunday, Kim Shuck is coming back to do a second poetry reading, and that poetry reading will be featuring the works of poet and scholar, Native American poet and scholar, Janice Gould. And I want to mention one further program, this time not in this room, but in the Correct Auditorium across the way. On Sunday, November 30th, 1 p.m., we will be screening a film called Thabwe, and that is about creative resistance in Myanmar, one of the most dangerous conflict zones in the world. It's a brand new documentary by director Jeannie Hallisey. There'll actually be a reception with Burmese tea and samosas afterwards, so I invite you to come to that. So now, before we start the program, I should know, if you want to know anything further about our programs, there are flyers and a newsletter on the table, as well as coffee and cookies. Help yourself to that. You can also visit our website's event calendar at sfpl.org. So that concludes the announcements. Before I turn the microphone over to my friend, I want to maybe just say a few words of introduction. Shizue Seigel is a Japanese-American writer, visual artist, and also director of Right Now SF Bay, which, as you perhaps know, is an organization that has provided writing workshops, events, and produced anthologies for people of color since 2015. Shizue has written and edited many books, including Good Conscience, Civil Liberties United, and a recent book, Courting a Man Who Doesn't Talk. So without further ado, I wish to turn the microphone over now to Shizue. Please give her a warm welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. I feel honored today to, thank you. Thank you for coming. I feel honored today to host some amazing writers of color and ally, not only from the Bay Area, but also from Lake County and Santa Rosa and Santa Cruz counties. I am grateful to the library for hosting us. John is such a hardworking, dedicated guy, and he is not an exception. The whole library staff here is amazing. I've been grateful to the library since I was a little kid, and I moved from Tokyo to the Presidio when I was 12 years old. And I lived above Baker Beach, and I was separated by a forest from the city. And I would walk through the trees and get over to the Richmond Library, and I practically lived there. Later on, when I moved, I used to hang out at the Anza Branch Library, further out in the avenues. and then hang out in the gorgeous glass-floored stacks of the main library. Anybody remember the main public library? Oh my God, yeah. Anyway, books and libraries did a lot to open my mind as a kid, and, during this time of conservatism and budget cuts and turmoil, I am grateful for the dedication of all the folks that are working so hard to keep democracy alive and vital. That includes my fiscal sponsor, Intersection for the Arts, and then funding from San Francisco Arts Commission, California Arts Council, and the California State Library's Civil Liberties Public Education Program. That's who's paying for your gas money today, readers. Yeah, I can't do it often. Usually when I invite readers, oftentimes the venues donate their space and the readers read for free. And people come, and oftentimes no books get bought, so there's all this time and energy and gas money that goes into it. But we are so inspired by each other, and we're so inspired by the opportunity to speak our truths and be heard. And, especially this year, I know for me and a lot of my friends, these gatherings of community is what's kept us going. And, the last election results were a boost, but the battle is far from over. So you need to know, all of you in the audience, you need to know that every single one of you matters. Every vote, every book bought, every presence. And I bet a lot of you have a lot of words that I wish that you would begin to share as well. And that's one of the reasons that I started Right Now. And if you look on the back table later, there's some handouts about the work that I do to support writers and artists of color in the Bay Area. So please take one and find out about the free writing workshops, virtual writing workshops I do, and other things. So anyway, I think one last thing I wanted to say is I wanted to dedicate this reading to Professor Arthur A. Hansen, Professor Emerita of Fullerton State University. He just died recently. He founded the Center for Oral History, and he was like the godfather of Japanese American history. He was a guiding light and a mentor for me for 25 years and for many, many others as well. And he was all about encouraging ordinary people to speak their truths, to share their history, and to look at the ways in which they mattered. Like the people, the women that worked in the Watsonville canneries for 4 years in the Watsonville strike. And their spirit is still alive today. You're going to hear some of that. You're going to hear some of that spirit today. Anyway, we're going to go in alphabetical order by first name, and each reader will introduce the next. Tehmina Khan will, if she gets here in time, will read out of order, but she's the only one. Kimmy, you'll introduce Tehmina if she's here. Okay, she just got here. Oh, okay, great. Okay, so I think we're all here. Tureeda Mikell is here. So we're going to get started. And the first up is a visitor from out of town. I met her through Georgina Marie Guardado's Word Circle group. She resides in Santa Rosa, but she does theater work in Mill Valley and a lot of stuff all over. Beulah Vega is a mixed Latina horror writer, political poet, and overworked theatrical artist, living and working in the Bay Area. Her poetry has most recently been published in Writers Resist, Liberties magazine, and Trashlight Press, and upcoming in the Antifa Journal. She's interested in giving voice to those traditionally marginalized. She grew up one of two Latino families in Valley Ford, which Swiss Italian farming community in West Marin. Anyway, so she gives voice to the marginalized, but she herself is always amazed still when people call her a writer. But there's no question about that. Beulah Vega.
I hate microphones. Okay. I'm going to start with something a little lighter than what I'm going to end with. This is just in honor of the fact that we just had Los Dias de Muertos, and my birthday was yesterday. So those two things always kind of blend together in my world. Yeah. So this is actually kind of new. Nobody's heard it. It's called The Ofrenda in My Wallet. I put the Moderna card in my wallet next to my Ewok sticker and my last dollar. The dollar raises the opposite of memory, foreknowledge from a different time. My mother would not have survived COVID. Her heart was always too weak. Her spirit was already too broken by the time my high-risk incubation sent her to 16 years of specialists, while this wild, black-eyed baby wailed for acknowledgement. The dollar is in lieu of my mother's picture, a sarcastic, sacred tribute to her voice telling me to always carry enough cash to get home. Lyft connects directly to to Venmo, which connects directly to my bank, where my scant paycheck automatically deposits into the cashless society built to keep the classes apart. The Ewok sticker has the word rebel emblazoned on it. Rebellions are built on hope, a beautiful Mexican man pretending to be a starfighter crooned. I believe him. How could beauty like his lie? I forget about screenwriters as I slide in the car boasting Dolly Parton's cure. My mother loved Dolly Parton and beautiful Mexican men, but the rebellion is all mine. And then, as Shizue mentioned, this next poem is actually forthcoming in the volume 2 of the Antifa Literary Journal. Apparently we have a literary journal, guys. It's called Supremist Court. The anti-anxiety meds are barely holding off panic as each new, single judge-authored writ arrives. Days turn to night, to a weird liminal time where emergency sessions create shadows, moving liberty backwards and driving authoritarianism forward at the speed of a bullet train, screaming along the legacy lines of long-dead robber barons, carpetbaggers, and slaveholders. What dies when only death can free my country from a 6'3" descent? Habeas corpus is looking weak. Our souls are being auctioned with fast hammer gavel strikes, ensuring winning bids before we, the people, knew that bidding had begun. Every night now, toothless men in black gowns slip into the stalls of power, groom the Constitution into an obedient, broken horse. They bleed its marrow for glue to stick an orange tyrant to his gaudy, gilded seat. In a once rose-scented lawn, life, liberty has decayed into the marble and granite sepulcher of democratic ideals. Sepulcher, not tomb. Nolla corpora. Our bodies are not there, only our freedoms. And this next one is very relevant to me, who is mixed, and you may have already guessed that certain people would refer to me as an anchor baby. This is called 14th birthright. Section 1. All people born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. I am called an anchor, an abomination, a mixed-race mutt born solely so that my parents could steal jobs and homes and Medi-Cal and food stamps from red-blooded American citizens. Tell me how many generations it takes for blood to turn red if it is not one. Tell me what color alien blood is then. Still Section 1. All persons born and naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the state wherein they reside. I am called a threat, a rising tide of anti-American values, a replacement-hungry, brown-skinned agitator who should go back to where I belong. Where does a fifth-generation Californian belong? No other state wants us. We, the children of Pacific beaches and mountains so high we named them thrice, Sierra Nevada mountains, mountains. How do we go anywhere without Mojave sand and Shasta water? How many generations have to pick grapes in Delano and saw lumber in Del Norte before we belong? Still Section 1. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. I am called suspicious, probably a lawbreaker and illegal. I cannot walk in the park, attend the fair, or go to goddamn Disneyland without a green card star affixed to my clothes, without a white escort to hustle me away under the watchful eye of 1,000 cameras with 1,000 different agendas. I am meant to be afraid. I am meant to be cowed. I am meant to be submissive. I know this in the marrow of my ancestral DNA, but rebellion is in my blood. A remnant of my ancestors 14 generations ago fought on the American side of a revolution to defend their homes against an unsound crown. How many are too many generations to deport? 1, 5, 14? The answer doesn't matter. The test is rigged. It's not my provenance that's cared about. It's the color of my skin. It's the color of my skin. And this will be my final one, and then everybody can breathe. This is called, obviously, as Shizue said, I'm highly involved in the theatrical arts, so the Kennedy Center takeover was, to me and my people, very, very problematic. So this is called Kennedy Center, February 12th, 2025. There is so much need everywhere. Nothing is a small problem now. Only triple blaring alarms of children's screams, Earth's wails, and AI's laughter. The inactability immobilizes the common man, woman, non-binary, intersectional, whatever, because even for the sake of brevity, I will not offer my soul to be whitewashed like Aunt Polly's fence with its ever-changing cast of fools. Our leaders wring their hands, while our fearful artists offer flowery brainwash. Every agency fighting back fights amongst themselves to be salvation. America became great during World War II because revenue and desperation are one and the same. Emails and texts ping nonstop. Won't you help? Only $5. Now is the time. I wonder if this is how it was as propaganda flyers fell onto Tokyo, warning people to get far away from what was coming. Get far away on an island with nowhere to go. No way to get there, no directions on where or what there was. The emails keep pinging as more liberties fall until even the National Orchestra becomes crescendoing silence. I do all that I can, which is to open the box marked emergency use only and eat all the cookies I stashed there when times were not so hungry with grief. And now for something completely different is Brenda Marie Yeager. She is the 11th Poet Laureate of Lake County. Her poetry was a finalist for the 2022 Jane Underwood Poetry Prize and is published in Noyo Review and The Bloom, among others. She is an MFA in poetry candidate at the Warren Wilson MFA program for writers. That is a lot to say, Brenda. And the recipient of the college's MFA grant and a Friend of Writers Scholarship. Her first chapbook-length collection is entitled Dear Captain America, and she will be submitting that for publication because I'm going to steal it from her and submit it for her if she doesn't. Brenda.
Thank you, Beulah. I was going to tell you all that it's Beulah's birthday yesterday, but she beat me to the punch. So thank you so much, Shizue, and everyone at the library and all these gorgeous readers. It's so inspiring to come together. We need each other so much right now, and it's like food to come and hear each other's truth. The open throat. So I was in a mood like Beulah, and I'm going to start with a poem that, as the Day of the Dead has passed this week, has been with me in my heart. And I read this one for every victim of gun violence who did not have the flag lowered for them. And we all know that there are many. So this is this is for my dear friend Vicente Zeta Colacion, 1992 to 2025. And he was a poet, and he was shot in the park of our town. And he had a website, and we'll have a book forthcoming of his work, which is entitled Chicano Typewriter. That's his title. So this is after Chicano Typewriter. On my knees, in the park between the roots of the lakeside willow that caught you, I kiss the bark. That someone was there to hold you and to weep. The furious bees, the burning light, keys clacking outside the margin of your stolen epic poem, all swarm up from the crack in the earth your body made where it fell. Vicente, your moment visits me. If only there were time for your Chicano typewriter to tap out one more magical phrase that could change it. Snatch the bullet mid-air from your fate, white out that fatal typo from this plot line. The keys slow, 7 last letters, S, I, L, E, N, C, E. On the shore, our volcano holds the night softly to your lips. Drink, son, she says. The inky water you will ride presses closer. The lake laps your blossoming mind. Did you hear us? At your back as you stepped into the boat? As we turn inside out from the salt shock of it into some version of a moon, glittering on the surface for you, brother, friend, son, lover, to light your way into the next blank page. Thank you. This next one is a poem that I wrote after a poem by Muriel Rukeyser. She was a radical 20th century feminist, anti-war poet. If you don't know her work, find it. She's an amazing inspiration. And her poem is entitled Poem, parentheses, I lived in the first century of world wars. So you'll hear some of phrases from her poem in here, but crossing the border, oh yeah, and this was in response for all the people in Ukraine and Gaza and everywhere in the world suffering the effects of war. Crossing the border with Muriel Rugeiser. I live in the second century of world wars. Most mornings there is nowhere to go. Ringtone of the sunrise announces the day's alliances. Camps shift, right side of the brain, ding, left side of the brain, ding, right again, ding, ding, ding. Refugees from our own bodies, we watch refugees stumble away from their orange and ill-lit sky. I call my friends. They see it too. The stars have scattered. Once our guides, the water bearer, and the scorpion distort. Unnatural lines of commerce and communication sneak across the night. Only the moon, crooked in her sovereignty, hangs, breathing light. Slowly, I understand. If I can steep sweet jasmine tea while another begs for a pillow for her child's head, we have already reached the limits of our divided selves. This is how I live in the second century of world wars. I cross the border of my separate self to seek a pillow for her child's head. Each finds the other. Thank you. I'll read one more. This is Last Light. I open my mouth to speak a word that could change this for you. Moth wings, inky as today's headline, choke out instead, flutter, erratic, on the powdery residue of my rage, toward the last light. I read that your child was taken away in a separate car. The last light you saw were the breaking red tails, headed in a different direction as terror trapped its wings around your heart. Tonight I walked like a prayer through the oak forest, through the last light. At first, there is fear, unrecognizable darkness. But we all heard your story, and our eyes are adjusting to the truth. The way back coming clear. Wings gather in the falling dusk to rise like a voice. And what else is a word anyway, but the light that made it? Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. And now I have the immense honor to introduce Chloe Gentile-Montgomery. Did I pronounce your name correctly? Chloe Gentile-Montgomery is a poet, ethnic studies educator, activist, and lover of her community. Her writing can be found in her self-published chapbook, Rustlings of the Spirit, Peace and Conflict, Journal of Peace, Psychology, Journal X, and La Raíz magazine. Follow her on Instagram at ChloeGMPoet and check out her website for readings, workshops, and speaking engagements, www.chloegentile-montgomery.com. And here's Chloe.
All right, thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you, Shiz, for inviting me to be here. I'm super honored to be reading at the San Francisco Public Library today. I am also going to start off with some kind of darker political poems, and then we'll bring the vibe back up. And this first poem I wrote back in 2023 about the ongoing genocide in Palestine. Obviously, that issue had already been going on for decades and continues to go on today, which I think is just such a shame. Genocide. In a classroom far away, a child with an iPhone in their pocket asks who is the bad guy, as another child screams beneath concrete rubble. Who decides who are the terrorists and who are the terrorized? Another bomb blasts before you can answer. Watermelon seeds are spat out, unable to be planted, soil obliterated, species native to this land now frightened to root. Children bury their families, villages raise babies who do not know their names. Help is called for in the universal language of children's fear. Some turn up the music, tuning it out. A life is an entire world. Universes are being lost over land destined by God. You're trying to remember where you've heard that before. An American-funded missile blasts before you can answer. The Great American Facade. Join us for the opening night of the Great American Facade. Fully costumed, scored, and staged, posed photo shoots and choreographed choreographed musical dance numbers upon entrance, staged justice, law, and order, scripted laws enacted by violent ushers of the state, staged democracy. The capitalists rehearse long and hard to receive that role. Critics predict Donald J. Trump's celebrity will rise. Add this to his IMDb. The crowd of pale, passive faces gaze on as rights are signed away in thick black Sharpie. The smell is enough to make you dizzy. Warning, this show contains flashing lights, which may not be suitable for some viewers. Disorientation is the goal. Viewer discretion is not advised. Flash, 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 dancers glide across the stage, rights ripped away at home, land ripped away abroad, names stolen and changed, a summer's sail across the Gulf of America. Absolute power, money, greed, chainsaws roaring, gears grinding, spitting out bureaucracy. Tanks roll out in our cities, food is ripped out of your hands, thunder and ice freezing all in their path. The crowd gasps in horror as they realize they're taking this all the way to curtains close. The audience will not make it out. Will not make it out of the theater. Agents flood the aisles, and the show, of course, will end with a bang. Okay, next I'm gonna read a poem on a completely different note about laundry. Acts of love. Laundry is an enemy of mine. Whether it's piled up and stinking in the corner of the room, or separated into several different baskets, or washed and dried and ready to be folded, I do not want to touch it. The piles loom, threatening to topple over. If it were to fall onto me, it would suffocate me, drown me in my own fashions. I might choke on my favorite clothes. I'll put it in the washing machine, bravely, and quickly forget it ever existed, reopening it when it's time for a new load to find the disgusting, mildewy scent. Ugh. I have to start all over again, and I hate it. I do like the feeling of freshly dried clothes, the warmth that radiates onto my skin, but I hardly am quick enough to enjoy such a phenomena. I enjoy unwrinkled pressed garments, but who has the time to fold and hang their clothes immediately? I do have a life, you know? And the folding hurts my joints, and it's boring, and it's tedious, and I would rather dig around the questionable clean pile to put together a unique look It makes my wardrobe feel a little bit more mysterious. But right now, as I type this silly little poem, I look up from the couch and my boyfriend is folding my laundry. Gently and meticulously, a knight with a sword slaying my cotton demons. Putting my clothes to rest. My entire being is swollen with gratitude. My boyfriend is folding my laundry and I didn't even have to ask. And I did just marry that boyfriend a month ago, so. Laundry is important, apparently. All right. And then I'm gonna end it with rest is revolutionary, which I think is a reminder that we all need. Rest is revolutionary. I wish for a million sighs of relief. The knots in my shoulder would untangle, giving space in my spine. I would stand a full 2 inches taller. I wish for more time doing nothing, filling my head with empty space, freedom to dream uninterrupted, the bright fragrance of flowers and leaves, lavender, rose, eucalyptus, would tickle my nose as they call me. I wish for rest without the requirements, without fulfilling every to-do list item and producing. I would lay in the sand, letting the tangles in my hair replace those in my neck as the wind takes us away, with no concern for what time will return. I have endless time. I wish I could stop worrying, replace the concern with a cornucopia of love, a golden light that always grows, reminding me that love is the greatest need and rest is revolutionary. Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce James Cagney. Did I say that right? Yes, okay. Yes, okay. Cave Canem Fellow, James Cagney, is the award-winning author of Black Steel Magnolias and the Hour of Chaos Theory, Martian, the Saint of Loneliness. His third collection, Ghetto Cones, A Personal Archive, is published by Black Lawrence Press. He was born, raised, and currently resides in Oakland, California. Visit his website at jamescagneypoet.com.
Hey everyone, it is an honor to be here with you today on a Sunday to share some poetry. So, by rights, I should have warmed up or something before attempting to do this poem, but I'm just going to jump in and do it. You know, in Abecedarian, if you had never encountered that word, is simply a poetic form to walk through the alphabet. You don't have to do or write as hard as I'm about to do. Technically, every line can just start with a different letter. I just make things hard for myself sometimes. This is called Virtuosos of the Animal Kingdom. A zeal of zebras in zippered zapatas, yodel Yuletide love songs on porches of young yuppies. Fixated on xenodochi, these equines offer sexy covers of tracks like The Men All Pause by Climax. They woodshed work songs all winter, wetting their whistles with vodka tonics. They are vivacious voices, velvety as vermouth. It's neither uncommon nor unethical to unite mammals and make them sing. Turtles, for example, make great troubadours. Thrushes, superb sopranos. Scatting in the sycamores, their specialty. Radio-ready raccoons rehearse Ride Like the Wind. A quintet of quaggas, too plain to be welcome amongst snooty zebras, do quick vocal warm-ups in the quarry. Piranhas make excellent percussionists, but keep poking pinholes in the drumheads, so they're provided pianos. Opera, often pretentious and classist, would be omitted here were it not for hound dogs obsessively owning high C. Newfoundlands especially sing like nightingales, while Nile crocodiles gargle a tiny choir of natal newborns in their throats. Moray eels are mute as their lungs breathe water, but they make great mellotron players like Mike from the Moody Blues. If too many lyrics sound like left-handed compliments of the lovesick, then listen for the longing solo of the lynx, a kind of beatnik cat and expert on the kalimba. Kookaburras, like mockingbirds, steal songs from other animals. Koalas too, but keep them close to the chest. Kudos to kingfishers for learning melodies for Keep Your Head Up and Kentucky Rain. Such a joyful jubilee from a trio of Jenny jackasses, having toured from Jakarta to Jamaica after winning the iconic inaugural season of American Idol with an incredible version of Mood Indigo. Have you ever heard a hippo play a harmonica or an array of hedgehogs hum hallelujah? Gifted giraffes in concert offer Gregorian chants for an audience of gesticulating gypsy moths. And before you ask, fiddler crabs do not fiddle, flamingos do. Crabs Roomba with excellence. They're just not extroverted, being all elbows. They make excellent tap dancers. It's disrespectful to doubt that the divine gift of music is exclusive to humans only. The Culture and Congress Center in Lucerne, Switzerland, once hosted a concert of camels singing Christmas carols, and no one in the audience was left surprised. You should have been there for the Badgers Barbershop Quartet. Their boffo arrangement of Billie Jean brought down the house. The balladeer with the buzz cut was a badass. Animal accomplishments in music is not an aberration. They deserve all their accolades and applause. Right on. Oh, that's totally messed that up. You know, it occurred to me listening to the other artists that I can actually really quickly acknowledge Day of the Dead as well, despite any of my assumptions. This poem is called "Only Some Houses Are Haunted." The walls of my bedroom became portals after the house realized my mother, its longest living owner, was dead. They itched, scratching themselves compulsively. Every room moaned with different concerns. For an entire day and night, a tea candle left burning on one of her souvenir state plates could not be blown out. When I was a child, my father drunkenly commanded me out of bed to lecture me never fear the dark, but learn to live in it, as it was all he knew for certain. He mumbled his final lessons on darkness, sitting invisibly at the edge of my bed while I licked the last crumbs of sleep from overnight's plate. The weekend my grandmother died, she paid her respects, checking for fever while I slept, despite me skipping her funeral. Ghosts are a reflection of a blank. In 1945, ghosts in Hiroshima were flash burned onto the ground and any walls stubbornly left standing. My mother's voice was like those shadows, still on duty in the house, overheard in a cocktail party enclosed within my bedroom wall. She didn't scare me. It is only the attention and curiosity of the unknown dead that terrifies. They don't know they no longer have my trust. Unlike me, they don't know how to let go. And further, I should take advantage, because I don't really feel like I've read this poem very much, or if at all. In honor of the reader who just read about laundry, this poem is a memory poem called Clothesline. 1, our lives transmitted through the clothesline. Its pulley and wire clove hitched through an oxide red steel turnbuckle bolted to the back porch. Our molted spectral epidermis, my mother's Dacron beautician's smock, its winged coachman's collar, my father's blue-green boiler suit, shirts rinsed of their catfish sweat and Reno aftershave. Church shirts and blue skirts twirl and twerk fast and loose. Blouses badged with bird droppings and butterflies. Hand-washed lace, silk chemise slips, elephant-skinned long johns, cable-knitted turtlenecks, flash-dried above applauding fruit trees and tiny impact craters pocketing water, too. A line of laundry flat-ironed beneath an unexpected tempest from a black rope of clouds. A storm of salt shaken from the sky. Sometimes the weather makes the clothesline a burden. Its green cable becomes a rest stop for dripping robins and blue jays. Duvets, upper sheets, and quilts would need to be carried down to the laundromat anyway. I, too, have ruined one load of wash or many after destroying handmade cities of topsoil by plowing up fistfuls of sand atomized to dust, all for the joy of smoke and pelting debris after television's prettiest explosions, then drying my grimy hands on the pink towels surrendering above. 3. Our washing machine's summer diet of salty, sweat-enhanced t-shirts and hot pants from a carload of cousins, flaked with corn chips, perfumed in exhaust, sugar, and cheese, forgiven into cleanliness beneath a flagellating sun. Our skin mingled with every element, the biometric intelligence of thread and yarn infused with skin cells. The whispers of a sun-crisped towel licking beads of shower water from your thighs. The healing curtain of the clothesline, its metallic song pulled for decades into extinction. And last but not least, sure, why not? We'll do this and make sure this stage is set for the next person. Hang on, and as I do this, I should say to both of y'all, y'all are wrong. You were wrong. Yeah, let's do this. Sorry, having private conversations while I'm doing a personal private. James, stop it. This is a very, very short poem. This is called The Florist. After smoking whatever it was down to its last flake of ash, he comes into the flower shop, approaches the florist, and says, "What flower cuts through the bullshit between people?" And says, "I don't hate you despite never saying I love you." That apologizes without being sorry. That means love without saying it, and says love without meaning death. And the florist says, "The yellow chrysanthemum." So, Joseph Jason Santiago LaCour is a Filipino-French Creole spoken word poet and hip-hop artist from the Midwest now living in Santa Cruz. This is not a poem, this is a true story. He offers workshops, coaching, and hand art through Sacred Mud at the Tannery Arts Center. As an organizer of Mic Drop, the monthly open mic at Fort 18 Project, and a member of Writers of Color Santa Cruz County, he works to contribute to a strong community of artists and supporters locally and globally. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joseph to the mic.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. Maraming salamat. Arigato gozaimasu. Asante sana, mgoy, sheshe, shukran, shukriya, kaupkun, kamun, okunchiran, obrigado, tak, danke, jakuyu, spasiba. Betal mamisege nalun, kamsamnida, mahalo, mezion pil, jinkuye chi, grazie mille, todaraba, ra, merci. This poem is my immigrant privilege, my permission to be belligerent. It's my better credit score, IRA trust fund, estate passed down, black, brown, and blue-blooded audacity. This poem is my generational wealth, my universal health care, my master's degree in my history of their war, my poem for our peace. Please, this poem understands place, like how to put a person in theirs while being free to choose my own. I'm on a mission with this poem strapped across my back. Sharpened, cleaned, oiled, locked, and loaded into an overseas container snuck through customs bound for slavery. Of course, we're savages, having to remember how fire felt. This poem is sun-touched, taught tough love, and allowed to live in sin just outside the boundaries of Fantasia, some missing part of us too hard for the heart to cultivate lightly. This poem says, fight me. You will not exploit me. Despite me, this poem begs you to explode in solidarity. We, who grew from a seed soaked in salt water overnight, an overripe fruit sweeter and deader than its poet could ever hope to be. This poem is home to me, and you are welcome. Thank y'all so very much. All right. Yeah, I am amongst greatness. Look at y'all. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for supporting the library and right now SF Bay, and for really just the commitment to the art. Really, 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 you're changing lives. Really. Let's keep it moving. I'm from the Midwest, top to bottom. Summer in the city born, island-blooded believer in love heals. I feel most folks and say hi almost unconditionally. Spiritually, I know just enough to keep searching. Admittedly, tight-eyed often, I see everything I can, limited though by so-called manly, lonely, and holiness. I am so-called blessed to have experienced and survived a broken marriage and parenthood. By the way, patriarchy puts fathers farther. You know, you can buy psychoses wholesale. There's an app. Like, share, subscribe. You get a new issue every month. See, we are in recovery, Earth's rediscovery, uncovering new corners of this planet daily, manifesting renewed purpose/service. If worth is measured by our truth, I'm not suicidal anymore, but I've worn that hat, and I know now when something ain't right. I walk down the river, and something ain't right. Santa Cruz is a paradox of a paradise. Infernal fertilized, I inherited property in purgatory. My story spans miles and miles of God, I hate it here, where justice just lies flat, where long walks in the sun cold suck and stretch each sudoriferous gland to its limit, where living your best life is a criminal offense to a long line of tourists turned colonizer, AKA KKK, settled in our ways once was as like sweet water for sacred elders. At 48 in 2025, I am no longer subject to gravity. Having lived, worked, and struggled in at least 7 major cities, never before have I been so exposed to homelessness, mental illness, and substance abuse. New to this planet, I'm kind of shocked how hot the block is. I mean, I'm just a domestic abuse-enabled latchkey grandma's boy who toys with words and blazes, bumping Jay Dilla daily. I mean, I'm just a coyote, smuggling dreams, yipping at the moon for dancing, perched in a poem from afar for a spell, and I gotta tell y'all, something ain't right. My black and brown folk all beaten and broken till tokenized, eyes wide shut in such close proximity to our evolution. Look but don't touch. Look close and you won't want. I mean, really, what will it take to make you make a difference? No more ashtray change to sedate your traffic light humanitarianism. No more shaking your head at another zombie on another stolen bike. No more sidewalk tense or tense exchanges with the loved one lost. Turn Nosferatu, cops too polite, too uptight, want to fight. The night is daughter dragon and melted mascara, throwing up entitlement all in their highlights. Life under these bridges echoes a stagnant smell. Dim lights smile defensively with extensive knowledge of the new hard times, trying to halt the river from rising above our empty expectations. California is lactating, nursing its 170-year-old infant soy formula and chamomile. But really, I like it here. Like a satellite that fell into an unknown, perfectly sized ocean. 93 till infinity stones stack like chakras. I'm still twisters and thunderstorms at heart. I'm still sharp winter winds and slang spit, fam. Damn, Joe, but yo, I love it here. Like listening. My partner and I, glistening through the trees at each other, just wondering where the rainbow went. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so very much. This is awesome. Yeah, I live in Santa Cruz. Y'all should come down. And her lines tell stories. Starvation and plenty balance beauty beneath the bone, a radiant reina. A reina who has renounced fashion trends and crash diets, who has accepted the responsibility of timelessness. Having held children and worked rightly since the beginning and even rebounding after a lifelong relationship with death, respect is expected. With the breath of life in her breast and the light of acceptance in her heart, all she sows grows. La madre de maíz, nuestro verdad. Muchas gracias por su cariño. Your crying, your dying and resurrection of the sun some 60-something summers ago. The way you stare is a stairway to heaven. Having walked across celestial jungles, oceans, and deserts, you have shed more myths and made more magic than we can possibly ever comprehend. Master of disguise, keeper of lies, pain and anguish that you would never show. To behold such beauty is to bear fruit, and said fruit shall feed roots, as these roots keep us connected. Laughter almost undetected, subtle signs of love. Word. Thanks a lot, y'all. Nice. Yeah?
Okay, because there's a student of Tehmina Khan's that needs to leave at 3:15. So, two students of Tehmina's. So Tehmina, do you mind coming up next? And I'll do the intro, and then we'll pick up with Kalachi after. Tehmina, you can read Kalachi's intro after. Okay, Tehmina Khan. Daughter of Indian immigrant scientists, taught science to preschoolers, citizenship to octogenarians, and poetry to elementary school students. She now teaches college writing at UC Berkeley and poetry for the people at City College of San Francisco. She's been published in Written Here, OccuPoetry, Civil Liberties United, and Muslim American Writers at Home, among others. She lives in San Francisco on unceded Ramaytush Ohlone land. And one other thing I want to say, that we need to be out of here by 4, so everybody, let's keep it tight. 8 minutes apiece max. Okay.
The helmet is a prop. All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Shizue, poets, community, family. It's just always, it's an honor and privilege. San Francisco Public Library. Continuing with Day of the Dead, I'd like to start with a poem by poet of Gaza, Heba Abu Nada, translated from the Arabic by Hoda Fakhreddin. Not just passing. Yesterday, a star said to the little light in my heart, "We are not just transients passing. Do not die. Beneath this glow, some wanderers go on walking. You were first created out of love, so carry nothing but love to those who are trembling. One day, all gardens sprouted from our names, from what remained of heart's yearning. And since it came of age, this ancient language has taught us how to heal others with our longing, how to be a heavenly scent, to relax their tightening lungs, a welcome sigh, a gasp of oxygen. Softly, we pass over wounds like purposeful gauze, a hint of relief, an aspirin. Oh, little light in me, don't die, even if all the galaxies of the world close in. Oh, little light in me, say, enter my heart in peace. All of you, come in." Heba Abu Nada was martyred on October 20th of 2023. This is my poem in response to Heba Abu Nada's Not Just Passing. Speaking to the stars, Heba Abu Nada is now with the stars, who told her, "Do not die." She died, and she did not die. The light in her speaks to the stars, to the new Palestine, stars among stars. No need for oxygen, gauze, aspirin. She sings in the galaxies of a universe opening, a portal to the light in all of us. And now I'll read a poem. Thank you. I'm going to read a short poem by Palestinian poet Yahya Lababdi. This is called Gaza, Capital of Hurt. Fitting that the word gauze should have ties to Gaza, a center of weaving since the 13th century. It's our turn, after hundreds of years, to dress Gazan wounds and wipe their tears. And this is my poem, In the Gauze, after Yahya Lababdi. O Gaza, in your gauze, what are you weaving now for us to witness? What sorrow, what lament, what existence, what yearning, what tiny joys come into the cotton threads crisscrossing on a loom. This river, woven of hope, winding its way to the sea. O Gaza, in your gauze of this tiny piece of home, we touch threads of life. One day, we will all weave this gauze big enough to cover and comfort us all over the world. This fabric woven of wishes, dreams, prayer will outlast all the bombs and shelter our skin. This is called Hereafter. We are the people of the Akhirah, the mother in Gaza tells me over Instagram. She is walking through rubble and shards of a place that once sheltered her in this world. We are not living for this world anymore, she says, but for the sky beyond the sky, a place as real as the earth I stand upon. An Akhirah, truth to power, for the next world. In scream, song, and prayer, and in whisper. Akhirah, here and now, for 7 generations beyond, when we are all in the Akhirah. Okay, this is called Trust and Love. 1. Trust is a verb, an activity, a choice. To trust in the great mystery, a wisdom, a sky beyond the sky. Ourselves, tiny beings, specks of dust in the grand weaving of the cosmos. Trust in the divine, a purpose. Look for moments of grace in the unspeakable. Become the grace. Love is everywhere and in everything, in the air, the water, the sky, the earth. But we need to want it, to seek it, to will it into being, extend ourselves, to all beings. 2. My father knows how to surrender when he prays and how to pray when he is not praying. At 94, he wills himself to live in this world, even as he prays for the next. My mother, at 83, recites Ayatul Kursi quickly from the recesses of a memory deeper than dementia. Forehead tight, she holds my hand and recites. How many times has she recited Ayatul Kursi for me and my sisters when she did not know what else to do? Trust is a verb. We will ourselves to trust. We choose to trust. On Instagram, we bear witness to children screaming, to mothers wailing over beloved corpses, to everyone hungry, thirsty, wasting away, instant death, slow death, living death. I will myself to trust in a wisdom greater than this moment, in a love I never thought possible. As I witness Bisan al-Auda saying, "We're still here," and MC Abdul rapping in the rubble, and teenagers dancing the dabka outside bombed-out buildings, and Khalid Nabhan kissing his dead granddaughter, calling her the soul of his soul, and Rifat al-Arir asking for a kite when he's gone, and Hiba Abu Nada asking us to speak the story of Gaza. I will myself to trust every day. It's not easy. Most days I fail. Despair is treason, so I trust in the divine, and I ask for wisdom. I will myself to trust, because despair is treason. I will myself to sing the song of myself in others. Okay. And then, is it time? Oh, okay, got it. Thank you. All right, I can't count. So thank you so much. And, oops, all right. The prop is for a utopian text about watermelon airways, which will be for another time. So I'd like to introduce Kelechi Uboza, a Nigerian-American writer and mental health advocate who blends the reality of trauma, race, and mental health into her writing. She co-authored We've Been Too Patient, now an audiobook, amplifying marginalized voices in mental health. Yes, we need that. Her Pushcart-nominated work is featured in Argot magazine, Multiplicity, Endangered Species, Enduring Values, Essential Truths, and Trauma, Tresses, and Truth, among others. She co-hosts the Moondrop Productions reading series with Cassandra Dalit. More at KalechiUbozo.com. Thank you.
Onboarding. Welcome, bienvenida, to your state-sanctioned takeover. Please remain disempowered with your feet shackled or zip-tied. The cabinet will be arriving shortly to collect your dignity, self-determination, and most importantly, your human rights. You might experience some turbulence accepting this new reality. Don't worry, our staff are equipped at whitewashing and historical revisionism. Feel free to dissociate and disconnect from your body. Compliance is your friend. In the event of a sudden uprising demonstrating anarchy, oxygen masks will not deploy from above. We discourage deep breathing, organizing, ideas about intersectionality and shared struggle, mutual aid, and healing justice. Please refrain from original thought and practice compliance. We'd prefer continued isolation, blaming one another, and a variety of distractions all on the house. No disrupting. Please adhere to the approved dialogue that supports scarcity, fear, and competition. It is the American way. Our staff will be making some final checks. The sooner you comply, the sooner you can go home. Trust us. And remember, it's up to you to give away your power and lay down. Comply now, comply now, comply now. All right, we're gonna leave that back there. Okay, so this piece I wrote in loving memory of my friend, Brandy Collins Dexter, who passed over the summer, an amazing civil rights activist who is finally resting. In our last conversation, she sat with me with stage 4 pancreatitis and said, I want to do more. And this was my response to her. Octavia told me, in the future, there is a wild garden of blooming orchids, lilies, and marigolds, plush soft green grass and weeping willows bent from the past, unforbidden apples with flowing knowledge. The land has healed itself, and Black women are resting. In the future, we are in right relationship with the land and all her stewards. We dig, unearth, root, get grounded, plant, eat, and repeat. Food is abundant, seasoned, buttery, and warm. More than enough. All the bellies are fed. And Black women are resting. In the future, there are homes, not just houses, but places that are sacred beyond four walls, created with divine designers, accommodating all bodies and disabilities, carefully crafted with love. You can pick whatever you want. Victorian, Art Deco, redwood treehouse, cottage, spaceship. Whatever you dream can be realized. Everyone is housed to fit their needs. There is always enough, and Black women are resting. In the future, a cure for hatred was discovered by children through their sweet, wise counsel. Everyone is allowed a range of feelings and emotions. Accountability is no longer designated to the ones who were overly responsible. With hatred removed, conflict is solved through communication and community, and Black women are resting. Past, present, and future collide, old timelines crash, prophecies are unmasked. As this world crumbles, the new world emerges. All the while, Black women are resting. In the future, Black women are resting, Black women are playing, Black women are seen, Black women are celebrated, Black women are loved, Black women are receiving, Black women are dancing, Black women are blooming. All right, we're keeping it tight, so this will be my last poem. I read this every chance I get. It's called Dreams for the Collective. We know the nightmare, so what is the dream? Kwesi Chapin. You are a dream realized, I meet you with splendor and joy, knowing that joy and grief are cousins. I hold both truths and gently rock you to a lullaby, a portal, to co-create a dreamscape. In this place we create, let us remember the wisdom of our ancestors who did more than survive, whose DNA passes on ancestral gifts, knowledge, and care for one another. Our plant ancestors who energetically shelter us from this constant storm that is an ableist, white supremacist lie. May we remember the truth, and may these words give you nourishment in times of despair. Our dreamscape is made for us, by us. Take this dream space as seeds to plant in your communities across the world and light up the universe. May you be nourished. May you be hydrated. May you be held in the way that feels just right to you and your body. May you reclaim your ancestral teachings, traditions, and knowledge. May you remember your people, and may they remember you. May you be a good neighbor, and may your neighbors be good to you. May you experience responsiveness in place of reactiveness. May the solutions to harm be of your creations and held by many. May you rest. May you know love and give love. May your decisions be honored. May your autonomy be respected. May your human rights be restored. May your belly be full of food and laughter, and your heart expand. May your body feel cared for at all ages and stages of your journey. May you allow yourself to feel your emotions, and may your emotions move through. May you liberate yourself from generational wounds. May you be the solve. May you rest, may you rest, may you rest. May you let yourself receive. May you know a deep pleasure. May you live in dignity. May you be safe. May your physical container experience release and magic. May you remember that your story is part of a universal fabric, and the thread that belongs to you belongs to the collective. May you release whatever in the past is no longer serving you, and in the moments when this is not possible, may you be kind to the parts of yourself who do not yet know the way. May you get lost as much as you need, and may you return to your path. May you continue to light the world, and even through inner and external darkness, may you remember that, yes, you are whole. May whatever resonates from these dreams etch into your mortal fabric, and may you release anything that is not aligned. May the dream we build become the groundwork that includes all of us. So much love to this collective. Thank you. I have the honor of introducing Kimi Sugioka, a Japanese, Scottish, Irish, American poet, songwriter, and educator, wields dangerous language in a dangerous time. She was inspired and mentored at the Naropa University's Jack Kerouac School of Disembodied Poetics. Find her work in the poetry collection While and Wing, Manic D Press, and in numerous anthologies. As poet laureate of the city of Alameda and an active literary board member, she curates and hosts readings in Alameda and San Francisco. She views creating community through art as a revolutionary act. Please welcome Kimi.
Thank you, Kalechi. Thank you, John. Thank you, all you amazing poets. Thank you, Shizue. The sky is making us into her bed. The sky is making us into her bed, gray and blue blankets, downy white pillows, above the cities where the dead and living roam, where a father pushes a designer carriage next to a man begging for change, where the guilty don't know that they are innocent and the innocent don't recognize their guilt, where there is so much worry and so little rest, where we wonder if we deserve this sky, this life, this death, where the smoke of indifference hides every answer in bloated fantasies of misperceived success, where the tears of the forgotten are mistaken for laughter, where we watch the icemen disappear brown and black skins while we sleep with our one blind eye open. The sky is making us into her bed of stories. Thank you. The thing most beautiful. The thing most beautiful, the thing most feared. Silken, salt sea caresses the weary, forlorn, lost. Diving into waters beyond our depth, we are chastened, fear of drowning, of creaturous attack. Weakening strength, bravery, resolve, protests grow, an ocean of angry signs, no kings, hands off, our bodies, civil rights, constitution, free speech, immigrants. As livid multitudes glower and thunder for justice, truth, freedom, as our bodies plunge below the surface of untested boundaries, we fear arrest, imprisonment, mauling. Truth and justice reside in fathoms, fathoms of tenderness. Thank you. While I write, I amble past a carpet of plovers and sanderlings under a pastel and smoke-colored sky. While I amble, I am beguiled. I drive along Clear Lake. Mount Cagney mumbles in her sleep. While I drive, I listen. I wander past tents, trash, and drifting souls and feel guilty for having a pillow on which to lay my head. While I wander, I stumble. I breathe while bombs continue to fall. The imagined dust of rubble fills my nose and throat. While I breathe, I choke. I listen to a monsoon of tears from mothers whose prayers go unanswered. While I listen, I cry. I hum notes that well in my belly to comfort some tiny child inside. While I hum, I pray. I sleep the sleep of the condemned within the walls of Herod's court. While I sleep, I keen. I dream of wolves baying for retrieve from slaughter. While I dream, I grieve. I wake to the hammering, buzzing, and clanking of the city, the pummels that pummels and consumes thought and birdsong. As I wake, I write. Thank you. Trying very hard to stay within the limits. Okay, I want to read this poem because I'm angry that the, so many things to be angry about, huh? Let's see, let's pick one. But the ceasefire in Palestine is a lie. Flashlights. I watch the sun setting on San Francisco, windows and steel flame brightly and importantly, but when the light shines on one side of a wall, it is easy to forget that the other side still exists. When I am thirsty, I turn on the tap. When I am hungry, I go to the store and choose among a ridiculous number of brands and flavors. I don't have to brave bullets for the false hope of a meal for my family. When I am tired, I lie down on a bed with blankets. I don't have to find a tent or piece of cardboard. I don't have to sleep on concrete or sand. We live in a darkness illumined by media, religious, and monocultural flashlights that shine here and there, illuminating one thing and leaving the rest in darkness. Flash, 1,400 dead in Hamas attack on Israel. Flash, 65,000 Palestinians starved and murdered by Israel. Flash, over half of them children. Flash, flash, flash. Which is more valuable, a gull or a tern, a dog or a cat, a brown bear or a black bear, a Palestinian life or an Israeli life? I don't want to know that every Palestinian chosen to enter into peace negotiations has been assassinated before talks could begin. I don't want to hear the word genocide spoken over and over again until it becomes commonplace and meaningless, or another mother or father describe the murder of their children, nieces or nephews, uncles, aunts, grandparents. I don't want to speak about the U.S. artillery supplied to Israel to murder Palestinians trapped like fish in a 225 square mile bucket. I don't want to see another boy kicking a ball through rubble and vanishing in smoke, the endless clawing at stone and ash to find loved ones, remnants of glass and torn clothing from a family that just sat down to tea. These atrocities burn like acid in our throats every time we swallow the news of another bombed hospital where babies are crowded into incubators because there are so few to hold the many. To cover our eyes, ears, and mouth is to feign ignorance, and to be silent is complicit. Thank you so much for listening. Oh, I get to introduce Shizue. Shizue Seigel, our hero. San Francisco-based Japanese-American whose writing and art draw from richly lived experience. Through Right Now, SF Bay, she supports people of color through workshops, events, exhibits, and publications. Her 9 books include 5 anthologies and the poetry collection Courting a Man Who Doesn't Talk. In 2025, her prose and poetry was published in Discover Nikkei, Panorama, Journal X, and the Porter Gulch Review. More at rightnowsf.com. Oh, welcome, Shizue, and thank you.
Wow, I have to say, I'm in tears. This reading has been so wonderful. Thank you all. I'm just so honored that you agreed to read with me. So I'm going to set the timer and hope that I can stay to the limit. This is new and probably not the final version. A descanso is, you know, those roadside memorials you see along the side of the road with flowers, sometimes a cross where somebody died. You see them a lot in Mexico in the last 10, 15 years. You've seen them more and more here. And descanso also means rest, like taking a break, a short break, like a landing between stairs. Descanso, another roadside memorial, a life cut short, a sudden end to pain. Rest, stop, relax, take a break, pause, to breathe. Un momentito, aspira y expira, a heart, stop, an interval for recreation, a landing before the next ascension. Up against it, back to the wall, running, what to keep, what to let go, sin resto, always, shoes on, in perpetual motion, forever ready for flight. You're tired, but can't stop, resto. They might arrest you in the next rest area. Pause at the traffic stop. Keep breathing, slow and easy. Tape up your heart to keep it from cracking all the way, spilling your life's blood. No familia here to back you up. So back up, Back off, back away. Show your hands. Go back home. To where? They never say where they came from. They of the pink skin passport, silver badge, automatic entry, no need to hide. They say, yet they admit nobody, nothing. Your number makes their quota. Número sin nombre, a nameless check mark to pad their paycheck. Where are you from? You do not tell them you come from the wind. Breathe, aspira, expira, before they catch you doing something, anything. Doesn't matter what, because you don't matter. Who? Número sin nombre. Broken agreements. Be it known, you should be grateful for the clarity. Henceforth, there is no question of whether you belong. You don't. You won't. Ever. Boundaries are clear. The price of compliance, the cost of complicity, writ large, broadcast widely. Heretofore, outrage, disguised as humor, is suspended, falling, falling, falling into a void. Whereas we are no longer in a state of emergence, no longer in transition, can we assess whether we have arrived in the dominion of greed? This fall, we reap the first year of official enactments and weigh the cost of resistance. It might be a cold winter. How many years before ice inevitably melts? Invocation of America the Blanktiful. This is an abecedarian, James, but not as wonderful as yours. I could never. Anyway, America, a dream without the K, beautiful, bountiful, blanktiful, borderless, boundless, bounty hunters banished, carless, uncrashed, uncrazed, crassness incarcerated, curiously crazy in a good way. Dominion diminished, dreams cherished in bemused amazement. Eagles reclaimed as emissaries of eternal spirit, flying high, feathers wafting down from the forever sky, fathomless, great spirit, habitating the heights, not graven in granite, incised on currency, infused with bloodlust. Let us join in unjacketed freedom, unjammed, unjailed, joyously trusting in what is beyond our ken. KKK-less, clan and kennel-free, no leashes. Forget the lashes slashing through our multi-generational memories. Reclaim the multitudes, mountains too massive to eradicate, anchoring even the deepest night, leading us to dream back oracular visions, oculus of the unoccupied, open-hearted, open-palmed, pristine of policy, of politesse, of prisons of mind and heart. Rescue ourselves from bars that rust away as we speak. Swallow not our tears, spit them out, swim in them, until the torrent tears down tyranny that rides the backs of the unseen, the ill-used, underpaid. United we stand. Fed by underground springs, vanished but not vanquished, vibrant as justice, reverberating with hope. We don't need weapons. We will wear you down by the weight of our combined wisdom, welling up through the eons. We are exactly, exceedingly, excessively alive. Yes, you cannot zero us. And now, Susan Kyo Ito, whose memoir, I Would Meet You Anywhere, was published by Ohio State University Press. It was a finalist for the National Book Critics Circle Award and the William Saroyan International Prize. She co-edited the anthology A Ghost at Heart's Edge, Stories and Poems of Adoption, and she produced Untold, Stories of Reproductive Stigma at the Brava Theater. She's been published in Catapult, Hyphen, Cagney, and Guernica, among others. She teaches at Mills College / Northeastern and the Writers' Grotto. Susan Kyo Ito.
Thank you so much, Shizue. Thank you, library. Thank you, poets. You're all so amazing. This has been really moving and inspiring to hear. And it's also been amazing to listen to your words so powerful while looking at this. It just has really spoken to me, and I felt like it's a perfect image for these words. This poem is from an anthology called The Gate of Memory, Poems by Descendants of Nikkei Wartime Incarceration. And it had another title, but I'm giving it a new title because I don't like my original title. So I'm calling it My Mother Was Incarcerated. If she and her family had stayed in her western state, if she'd remained in the house of her childhood, if her father, my grandfather, had kept his business, if her siblings had stayed in school, if they hadn't been taken by bus to that racetrack, if they hadn't gotten on the train with their single suitcases, if they hadn't ended up in the camp for 3 years, if they hadn't been released to the sponsorship of a white church in a white town far from the western state where she'd been born, she might have grown up in her Nikkei community, finding a nice Japanese boy to date, marry, raise a family. But instead, she grew up in that white town, in a state with few Asians, nobody to date, nobody to marry, only white boys who wouldn't bring her home. This is how I came to be, her mixed secret. This is how she carried me invisibly under her girdle. This is how she let me go in yet another state. This is how I found my Nisei parents waiting over 10 years for a Japanese baby. If she hadn't been in that camp, I wouldn't exist. Okay, thank you. This is sort of cheating because it's fiction. This is a little excerpt from a novel in progress that's I've been working on for a long time, and it centers the experiences of Japanese Americans in New York City during World War II. And so this takes place on Monday, December 8th, 1942, so it's the day after Pearl Harbor. Kaz met up with the others at Penn Station, the Ito brothers, Ichi and Yo, and Fujio Saito. They had met up after they'd seen or heard that the minister had been dragged from the church on Sunday afternoon in front of all the women and little kids. What to do? What the hell to do? Fujio got there first. Was it his imagination, or were people glaring at him? Was he the enemy already? Well, he and the boys were going to show them. They'd all enlist, weird as it was, to sign up to fight their homeland, but was it really their homeland? None of them were born there. None of them had ever even been to Japan. Kaz was born in Queens, Ichi and Yo in the Bronx, Fujio on Long Island. They were all New Yorkers, all Americans, and they were all ready to fight.
Scanning the crowd for their familiar faces, Kaz startled when another Asian bumped him on the shoulder, roughly walking past. Their eyes met for a moment, and Kaz saw in the other man's face a combination of hatred and fear. His lips pulled tight across his teeth, his nostrils flared, and then he saw the white pasteboard circle on the man's lapel and the hand-printed words, "I am Chinese." Kaz gasped for a second, not grasping the meaning, and then understanding with a sickening gravity what he meant was he was not Japanese, like them. He spotted the brothers rounding a column and rushed to them. "Hey, fellas, check out this Shinajin guy. Well, what about him? He's got a button on his coat. Look, I am Chinese." What the crazy hell? Yo's face reddened, and Kaz grabbed his arm to keep him from following the guy. "Nah, don't bother, but this is what they do right now." They stood in a huddle next to a magazine stand, their heads down. Kaz told them something he'd heard from his mother. "It's crazy, man. Did you hear about that old guy, Mats Masahiro, janitor at Yankee Stadium? I don't have any idea who that is." "You know, that goofy guy, like an old clown. He used to pretend his mop was a lady and do those old-timey Japanese dances. People got a kick out of him." "Oh, yeah. I think I saw him at a couple games." "Yeah, well, he tried to kill himself, you know. Harakiri with a steak knife last night." "You are shitting me." "I am not. Yamazaki-san told my mother, said he was bleeding out on the sidewalk, yelling, 'Sorry, sorry,' as if it was his idea, Pearl Harbor, his fault. He didn't know a thing about it." "Damn, did he die?" "No, but he went to the hospital. I guess it was pretty serious." Kaz muttered, "Too bad Doc couldn't take care of him, but they took him too." "Well, I'm not going to stick a knife in my guts. I'm not ashamed of being a Nihonjin. I'm American, damn it, and we're going to go down and sign up right now." Outside the Army enlistment office at Times Square, a line of men their age snaked around 7th Avenue for blocks, longer than they could see. They set out to find the end of the line and kept going, block after block, from 42nd all the way past 50th Street. Never had they seen such a queue for anything. Men flexing their brawn, snapping their gum, all of them looking as ready as they felt. A couple of guys in firefighter uniforms, like they jumped right off a truck on the way to a blaze, like they left their posts, slid down their poles at the station, and got in line with the others. Fellas who could have been pro athletes, ball players, a lot taller than they were. Suddenly, Kaz felt like a shrimp. He tried not to focus on his 5'5"-ness. He could still run. He was fast. He was sharp. Even Yo, the tallest of them, was only 5'9". They got on the tail of the line. They were out there for hours. One of them would duck into a chock full of nuts, get a bag of donuts and coffee, come back to the group. They took turns finding a place to piss when the coffee ran through them. They kept their heads down, ignoring the hate, just saying to themselves, we're Americans, we're in this. But when they made it to the enlistment desk, one look was all it took. The glare of the officers, the sheen of hatred on their faces. Before they could even open their mouths, the oldest guy had his hand up like a stop sign. "Not you," he said. "America doesn't need you. Go home." Thank you. Thank you for listening. It is my incredible honor to introduce Tureeda Mikell, story medicine woman, holistic activist, Black Panther alum, recognized word magician, the author of 2 full-length poetry collections, Synchronicity, The Oracle of Sun Medicine, nominated for the California Book Award, and The Body, Oracle of Memory. She edited the Patrice Lumumba anthology in collaboration with Eastside Arts Alliance and has supported Voices of Youth through 73 poetry anthologies. Mikell received Berkeley Poetry Festival's 2024 Lifetime Achievement Award. See more on Instagram at Story Medicine Woman and on the web at tureedamikell.com.
Thanks so much. Yes, I am on the clock. All right. And wow, what can I say? The beauty, the depth, and what we see and go through as a people. People, you know, we're human. Which brings me to my first poem, The AI Proclamation. Yeah, so this was published by the Golden Sardine. That's right, Golden Sardine. Yeah. So, and their Living Poets anthology, and James is in it too. Yeah. The AI Proclamation. And whereas Greek Roman influences of BS, aka biblical suggestions, made an impact on Western ideation of woman, her womb fruit, body born broken, whereas New Testament in Romans 8:8 said, those who are in the realm of the flesh cannot please God. And whereas Bible's Old Testament said in Genesis 3:15, enmity and hate will be placed between thee, woman, and thy seed, and whereas AI machinations reach into human futures, affect generations to come, whereas an effect becomes a cause, reinforcing the original cause, producing the same effect. And whereas New Testament continues in Acts 10:34, God is no respecter of persons. And whereas Church Trinity said, in the name of the Father and his Son, ghost woman, whereas Catholic priests and nuns have agreed since their beginning, ghosting woman is an act of God because he never touched a woman. Whereas man a god, woman now a ghost, church and state see no need for her to host life, whereas sperm counts and testosterone levels have continued to drop 1% per year the last 50. Whereas male-female couples will find it harder to conceive life by 2045. And whereas man prefers the need to design artificial intelligence with face, tits, booty, fingers, toes, legs, hair, lips, eyes, nose, adjoining personality with select age and voice tonality, equipped with silicone aluminum vaginas custom made to fit his appendage. And whereas AI hoes work for free 24/7, have no need for lunchrooms, offices, real estate, work virtually, increase productivity with little human activity. No maternity leave. They can't have babies. No days off. No need for family emergencies. Can't leave a legacy. Lack moral compass. Purely calculating. Won't boycott or question business policies. And whereas AI behaviors bank big biz, mo money, mo money, mo money. And whereas AMA, stronger than Congress, lobbied the government against public health's best interests, causing cancer, suicide, and death rates to rise, promoting human decline. And whereas World Health Organization receives 88% of its controlling interests from computer magnet Gates Foundation. And whereas Western man renunciates survival instinct, the word woman not appearing once in the US Constitution or the Bible's Holy Trinity, recognizes shared patriarchal bond between church and state. And whereas Watson and Crick, geneticists, admitted we should not only be concerned with the biological toxins, but the cultural ones as well. Perfectly good DNA can be turned into useless junk, affecting generations to come. Whereas AI is tracked to replace the validity of all female birth canaling pussies, noted by rise in C-section deliveries, AI shall hereby emulate God the Father and his Son, born of the immaculate conception to ghost woman's vagina hole. So let it be known this day that the patriarch will create their own witches. I changed the W. This proclamation was brought to you by an effect that has become a cause reinforced. Playing it cool, and this is from Langston Hughes, you know, just that little line. Yeah, playing it cool, because some folks are acting like, you know. Play it cool and dig all jive at class and race, and what feds say like church and state have two separate gates, though president swears in on Bible that states you're born broken, babe. Say you're in the world but not of it. Play it cool and dig all jive and beg forgiveness for being alive, accept cost to live as contempt for existence, blame Eve and Cain for hell's dominion, illusion of inclusion, sustain subtle bruising, totalitarian trust secures delusions, justice and justice judges a scheme, then generations, telomeres, nerves, and genes. Alternative facts redefine first rule of war, confuse the mind, you know, play it cool and dig all jive. Watch American hegemony fail, humanity's growth grow frail, pawn nature's law in exchange for man's dogma, schizophrenic, bipolar tyrannies, kill with impunity, interrupt left-right brain response ability, bank on stocks, multi-trillion pharma industries, entertain affliction, fear and addiction, police, priests partner with dis-ease, promise the rapture will offer eternal peace in the hereafter, you know, on your knees, heroically, playing it cool and dig all jive. Yes, ignoring strange fruit on poplar trees, smell more funerals than families. Child disappearances, sex trafficking, pornography, houselessness, organ and attention harvesting, genocide, G5, GMO, gain of function viruses, AI jabs with lipid nanos, mRNA plastics, craft spermicides, cellular toxins, war without end, ride, suicide prevention and assistance websites. Is culture canceling? Why? Play it cool and dig all this jive. And the last short one is Innocent Memories, and I'm sure we have some memories of innocence. Innocent memories dedicated to my old school. Yeah. One moist breeze, streams in and out of old factory after rains, bearing thoughts of who I am, reoccurring dreams, limitless wonders, innumerable flowers, birds, bees, tiny winged feet, buzzing. With so many yous and me's, yous and me's. Winds spinning, earth spells, pregnant under dark clouds, silver lines billowing high, showing off skin, water, mist. Sun insist on rainbows. As I, the mystical child, imagines this is where God lives, smiling, watching earth smile back. In her black fertile dampness, I'd love to make mud pies and cakes and watch my mother and father plant gardens in so many colors, so many trees, so many yous and me's, yous and me's. It's so big and everywhere. I run into my garage, frightened of who I am, and wonder, who am I to be subject to the wonder of all this? Who am I? Thanks again. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. And John and Mike, I apologize. We did run over by quite a bit. I'd like to ask the writers to meet outside in the lobby, and we'll take a group picture. John, do we need to help you put away chairs? Okay, so let's take a group picture with the writers outside, And anybody that wants to join us at the Golden Era, which is a Asian fusion vegan restaurant at Larkin and Golden Gate. It's quite delicious and affordable. So anybody that wants to join us there afterwards, you're welcome to. Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody. This was amazing.